Now turning to the war in Gaza and a stunning move away from the battlefield. The top prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is seeking arrest warrants against Israeli and Hamas leaders for alleged war crimes. It is the same court that has listed Russian President Vladimir Putin as a wanted man on similar charges. Here's some of what the prosecutor had to say earlier.
I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility.
The court says the Israelis have broken international law in the way they have led their country's response against the Hamas attacks on October 7th. Journalist Sarah Coates is tracking this for us, and she joins us from Tel Aviv. So, Sarah, can you tell us more about the allegations the ICC prosecutor is making and what kind of reaction they're getting from both Israel and Hamas?
Hello there, Jacqueline. There is absolute outrage here in Israel. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Defence Minister Yoav Gallant, they stand accused of causing extermination, using starvation as a weapon of war, the denial of humanitarian relief supplies, and targeting civilians in conflict. Now, a flurry of furious reactions coming in. We've heard from the War Cabinet member, Benny Gantz, who we do need to mention is a fierce opponent of the Prime Minister Netanyahu. He says, accusing the ICC of moral blindness, while the Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, has come out to say that this is an unrestrained direct attack on the victims of October 7 and also the hostages that are still being held in the Gaza Strip. Now, you also mentioned these three senior Hamas leaders. This is Yahya Sinwar, also his second in charge, Mohammed Daif, and also the leader of Hamas's Politburo, Ismail Haniyeh. Now, they stand accused of extermination, murder, taking hostages, rape and sexual assault in detention. Let's take a listen to a little bit more of what we heard from the ICC's chief prosecutor, Karim Khan.
Those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action based upon solid evidence. That day has come. Today, we underline in the clearest possible fashion that international law and the laws of armed conflict apply to everyone. No foot soldier, no commander, no civilian leader, no one can act with impunity.
Now, Sarah, on the same day that we're learning about these proposed arrest warrants, Israel's defense minister is telling a top Washington official that it's expanding its ground assault in Rafah. So what can you tell us about that?
Certainly, he had a meeting with the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, just a little earlier today in Jerusalem. Right now, what we are seeing in Rafah is what the IDF is calling a limited scope operation. But Yoav Gallant now says this will be expanded. Now, according to the IDF, this is where the last 4 remaining Hamas battalions are stationed, and potentially some of these remaining 124 hostages that are being held in the Strip. Now, the IDF on this has actually just come out to say that these 4 bodies that were recovered over the last few days, that they were actually found in this Hamas tunnel system in Jabalia, which is further north in the Strip, and they were not found in Rafah. But according to the IDF, so far some 950,000 internally displaced Palestinians have already evacuated this safe zone. It was previously a safe zone of Rafah, moving to other areas of the Gaza Strip like Al-Mawasi. But we do know that nearly 500,000 people are still there. Now, these human rights groups like the United Nations, they are ringing the alarm bells. We've heard from the humanitarian chief, Martin Griffiths. He's come out to say that there will be apocalyptic consequences in the Gaza Strip if more aid does not get in there soon.
Sarah, thanks so much for the latest on this. That's the journalist Sarah Coates in Tel Aviv.